what is this?
I have Keith Haring Artwork.
Okay, cool. It's a pistol ring. All right, what? Yeah, it's like something James Bond would wear.
A customer walks in holding what looks like some colorful doodles. "I have Keith Haring artwork," he says proudly. Rick's eyes light up. "Where'd you get these?" The guy replies, "From Keith Haring's lover's lover." Rick's expression is priceless. Half impressed, half confused. "What a tangled web we weave," he mutters. The seller's hoping for $75,000. Talk about aiming high for some stick figures with halos.
I helped out a friend and he gave me this artwork. I thought it was a little cartoonish and childish, but as soon as I did some research on it, I started to appreciate it, and I hope to walk out of here with a big pile of money.
Rick's impressed but cautious. Haring's work is iconic, but the market's full of fakes. He explains Haring's rise from subway graffiti artist to global pop icon. The guy nods like he's at an art history lecture, pretending to follow along. "He used markers on everything," Rick says. "Chairs, walls, driftwood. Basically, if it didn't move, Haring drew on it." Rick calls his art expert Brett to verify the drawings. Time to separate hype from history.
I came in looking to sell what he says are 2 original Keith Haring drawings. If these are real, we're talking about some valuable pieces of art history. So I called Brett down to check them out.
Back in comes Brett, Rick's art expert, to check out those Keith Harings. He's instantly impressed. "These are great," he says, explaining how Haring's cartoonish outlines made viewers feel like they were watching a TV screen. He points out classic symbols: the radiant baby, the three-eyed face, the snake. Rick's nodding like a proud student. Brett confirms they're definitely not prints. These are real, one-of-a-kind drawings. Things are looking good.
And I see a lot of them in here. You see, you've got the radiant baby. He was very well known for the baby. The three-eyed smiley face, that was another big thing. The snake, very unique.
Brett continues. He'd comment on money, religion, and consumerism. "See the dollar sign? The cross?" Rick asks the big question. "So they're real?" Brett nods. "They're real, and each could fetch $40,000 to $50,000 in a New York gallery." Rick nearly chokes. The seller's jaw drops. Suddenly, $75,000 doesn't sound so crazy after all. Rick thanks Brett, but you can tell he's already doing mental math on how much he can flip these for.
Thanks, Rick.
Hey, pleasure as always.
Thank
Chip,
you very
it was
much.
nice meeting you. You've got some nice pieces here.
Okay, so I'll give you 45 grand for it.
Negotiation time. Rick starts at $45,000 for both. The seller pushes for $50,000. Rick ups it to $48,000. Final offer. "That's all I can do," he says. The seller hesitates but gives in. "Deal." Rick's grin could light up Vegas. "Only in America," the guy laughs. "You bring cartoons to a pawn shop and walk out with $48,000. He's right. That's a new truck. Or in Rick's case, probably another fossil.
Doing here? Oh, I got another item for you to check out. How you doing?
A spork.
Well,
You brought me a spork.
it's a utility tool from the Civil War era.
Meanwhile, Chumlee's holding what he calls a spork. The seller corrects him. Actually, it's a Civil War amputee utility tool. Chumlee stares at it like it's alien tech. "So, like a fork knife thing?" The guy laughs. "Yeah, kind of like a nork." Apparently, soldiers who lost arms used it to cut and eat. Chumlee's both fascinated and horrified. It's grim history, but also the ultimate multi-tool. He jokes, "At least you can scratch your back with it too."
Well, I mean, during the Civil War, the battlefield, it was pretty much lose your life to infection or cut it off, right?
Right.
They didn't have a lot of other options then, so.
The seller wants $200. Chumlee starts at $50. The man haggles. "Come on, it's from the Civil War." Chumlee's like, "We don't even know that." They banter back and forth like two kids at a garage sale. Finally, Chum offers $60, deal made. The seller laughs. "I wasn't thrilled, but it's fine." Chumlee wins again. Civil War history, bought for the price of dinner at Applebee's.
What's up, Slippery Rick?
Davey called me up, said he had a car I might like, and my daughter's looking for a car also, so I figured maybe I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So where's this car you want to show me?
Right there.
Cut to Rick meeting Davey at his used car lot. It's sketchy from the jump. Davey brags about his Jeep. It's fully loaded. Rick wants something practical for his daughter. Davey's pushing an off-road tank. They used him in the war. Davey says proudly. Rick deadpans. No, they didn't. Davey's not taking the hint. Rick's trying to stick to his $10,000 budget. The audience already knows he's doomed.
No, just something reliable.
So what'd you get her?
I got our practical, safe car.
What kind of car?
A safe, reliable car. I don't want to hear anything else.
Finally, the big reveal. Rick's back from Davy's dealership. Corey asks what car he bought. Rick tries dodging the question. Something reliable. Chumlee grins. What kind of car? Rick refuses to say. Then his daughter walks in asking for gas money, and the guys follow her outside. Cue the shock. It's a brand new Mercedes. So much for under $10,000.
What you were supposed to spend. So it happened to be impractical.
Well, apparently cars are a little bit more expensive than...
What year is it, Rick?
The 2014.
Corey's dying laughing. You said 10 grand. How much did you spend? Rick mutters, 28,000. Everyone erupts. You're the sucker, Corey shouts. How much did Davy make off you? Rick grumbles, 10 grand probably. Classic Rick. He can buy rare art for $48,000 like a pro, but gets hustled by a used car salesman. Daddy's girl wins again.
Dion quintuplets.
Oh, and there's more.
Now I know how Mr. Dion felt. Keep coming and coming and coming.
My boyfriend's mom gave me these dolls from an estate sale.
Inside the shop, Corey's dealing with a woman selling Dion quintuplet dolls. They're from the 1930s, and yes, they're as creepy as they sound. They just keep coming and coming, Corey jokes as she pulls them out one by one. The seller wants $2,000. Corey launches into full history professor mode. 5 identical babies, born to a poor Canadian family, turned into national celebrities, and tragically exploited by the government. Creepy dolls, sad story, perfect Pawn Stars combo.
Then to make it even weirder, the Canadian government decided that the Dions were not fit parents. And they took the kids and they pretty much turned them into a tourist attraction.
Corey's intrigued but admits he has no idea what they're worth. I don't even know if people collect these. He calls Johnny, his toy expert. The seller's hopeful but admits, they creep me out. Same, honestly. Meanwhile, Rick's still at the car lot, battling Davy and his daughter's cute car wish list. Davy's pushing a Mercedes. Rick's fuming. I said practical. Corey's dealing with haunted dolls. Rick's fighting sales demons. It's chaos on both fronts.
Weird and rare. I'm not sure what the value was. So I got Johnny here to help. What do you got for me?
Some Dion quintuplets.
Cool, man.
Johnny, the toy expert, arrives and dives right in. These are neat, he says. You got the high chairs, composition material, original tags. He explains that the dolls sold more merchandise than Shirley Temple back in the 1930s. Nowadays, he adds, they're a niche collectible, creepy but valuable. One set's worth about $600, the other up to $1,400. The seller's thrilled, Corey less so, because creepy or not, he's the one who has to sell them.
I would put a value on this set here in the maybe $600 range. And on these items, I mean, these are collector grade condition. I mean, you got the hang tags there. This is the original high chair.
Corey offers $1,200 total. The seller shoots back, how about $1,600? He counters $1,400. Final offer. The woman sighs and declines. I'll just keep them. Corey shrugs. Offer stands. She walks out, muttering about maybe returning. Somewhere those dolls are plotting revenge. For once, Corey looks relieved not to close the deal. We kick off with a guy holding something that could have flipped World War II upside down. Battle plans from the Normandy invasion. These aren't just military papers. They're labeled top secret and could have single-handedly altered D-Day if they'd landed in the wrong hands. Rick's face lights up like a kid seeing a tank.
I have some battle plans and after-action reports from the Normandy invasion. I'm coming down to the pawn shop today to try and sell my collection of battle plans from the invasion of Normandy. They are reports that were gathered through each of the divisions and put into one document.
But hold on, Rick notices some of the documents are post-battle summaries. That changes everything. Value hinges on when they were printed. If they're pre-battle plans, we're talking serious collector gold. If they're post-battle wrap-ups, less impressive. Rick calls in an expert because he's not dropping thousands without confirmation. Smart move.
Way in, and France was 160,000 men stormed the beach of Normandy. But man, was it costly. Thousands died.
Rick's military expert arrives to evaluate those D-Day battle plans, and right away confirms the post-battle docs aren't as rare. But then, plot twist, he opens another folder and finds actual pre-battle orders, complete with landing instructions, top secret stamps, and drop zone maps. Rick's jaw nearly hits the counter.
Earlier, a guy brought in a file with the original plans from the D-Day invasion. They're unbelievable, but I have to find out when they were made, before or after the battle. So I invited my buddy Mark down to take a look. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Hey, Mark.
Okay, so what do you have today?
I got something really cool. I have a post-battle synopsis of Operation Neptune.
Turns out, pre-battle documents are extremely rare because if Nazis had gotten a hold of these, the entire war could have changed. The expert is stunned. These are archival-level pieces, but here's the catch. They're also super fragile. If you even breathe on them wrong, they disintegrate. No framing, no displaying, just acid-free storage forever.
This is post-battle. But you said you also have pre-battle?
I'm assuming they are.
Okay. What do we have here? Top secret in front of... Oh, this is an order of battle.
Rick realizes that makes them unsellable, and if Rick can't sell them, he ain't buying. He respectfully turns the guy down. Honestly, one of the hardest passes he's ever had to make, but totally the right call.
It's gone. These you need to just put away. They need to be in a dark, acid-free container and kept in a stable environment.
All right, you're the best. I got all the info, man.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, Corey faces a walking piece of nightmare fuel. A guy walks in holding just the head of a 1978 stretch Serpent Toy. No body, no packaging, just the head. Apparently, the guy tore the heads off toys as a kid and kept them. Therapy, anyone?
And then we'll go from there, all right?
All right.
A while back, I bought battle plans and maps from Iwo Jima, another incredibly famous World War II battle. If I can get this set from Normandy, the thought of those two hanging next to each other just blows me away.
Here's the kicker. Corey realizes even in its dismembered state, this toy head could be rare, like $12,000 rare if it were whole. The seller wants $2,000 for just the head. Corey's face says absolutely not, but he still offers $300. They dance a little and finally land on $500 for a decapitated Serpent Toy, only on Pawn Stars.
Back in the late 70s, Stretch Armstrong was a big hit. So Kenner made a bunch of spin-offs, Stretch Monster, Stretch X-Ray, but Stretch Serpent was a massive flop. And since no one bought them, they're really rare today.
Back at the shop, Corey's getting roasted by the old man for buying the Stretch Serpent head. The old man calls him King of Stupid and places a bet. If the toy's not worth anything, Corey cleans the store. Corey smugly agrees, sure he's about to cash in. Cue the drama. Now it's showdown time.
This isn't the best deal I've ever made, but they'll definitely look cool in my display case, and I will make some money off them.
Corey, you got to be kidding me. Corey! Damn it. Did you see that? Corey always knows how to make my blood pressure go up.
Johnny the toy expert shows up to settle the Stretch Serpent bet. He inspects the head and confirms it's one of the rarest toys ever made. There are only 2 full ones known to exist. Just the head? Worth $4,000 to $5,000. Corey looks like he just won the lottery.
Question, these are great pieces of history, but I kinda dodged a bullet. In half a year, I would have had really expensive blank pieces of paper hanging on my wall.
Earlier, I bought a Stretch Serpent head for $500. The old man bet me that it wasn't worth anything, so we're having Johnny come in and settle it for us.
The old man is stunned into silence. He lost the bet, and that means one thing. He's cleaning the shop. As he begrudgingly grabs the Windex, Corey's grinning ear to ear. Rick's just amused someone made a profit off half a toy. Only on Pawn Stars can $500 for a severed snakehead turn into victory.
The price because they know how rare these pieces are.
You got to be kidding me. I don't know how Corey did it, but he managed to make money on half a toy. Hell, even broken clocks are right twice a day.
Say I'm right.
Next, a man comes in with a leather football helmet from the early 1900s. Rick gives a full breakdown of how guys used to play with no pads, no rules, and basically no concern for skulls. The helmet's in great condition, but has no famous player or team tied to it, so the value takes a hit.
Hey, what can I help you with?
My grandfather gave me this helmet.
It's a football helmet.
What fit you?
No, my cranium's extremely large.
It's for that huge brain of yours.
The seller wants $500, but Rick offers a cool $100. The guy pushes back, and after some awkward haggling, Rick agrees to $130. It's a bit of pawn shop hustle, but the seller's happy to walk out with cash instead of more dust in his garage.
I don't know. I'm wondering, is there a market for like old-time memorabilia?
There is. I mean, it's not associated with a player or a team or anything else like that. I'll give you $100 for it.
$100? I can't do that.
Then a guy shows up with Franco-Prussian war saber bayonets, claiming they're from the 1870s. Rick dives into a history lesson like it's his side hustle, explaining these blades could be knives, swords, and bayonets all in one. Very Zorro meets Battlefield vibes.
So what do you got here?
We have a pair of saber bayonet from the Franco-Prussian War. I got them from my father. He was a surgeon, and some of his patients couldn't pay for services, so they paid him in kind.
Okay, I thought you were going to say that he used these for surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Problem is, they're a little too clean. Rick quickly notes they were probably made after the war, which knocks their value down. The seller wants $500. Rick offers $125. They do the haggling shuffle and eventually land at $130. Same price as the helmet. Coincidence? Probably not.
These are the armories they came from. And a lot of times they'll have a date with them. This one has 1873.
Yes.
Okay.
And this one is dated 1871.
I have a first edition Mark Twain that I'd like you to look at.
Okay, a Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
First customer strolls in with a first edition Mark Twain novel, A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. The book's 125 years old, passed down from his dad, and looks rougher than a medieval battlefield. He wants $1,500. Rick's intrigued. Mark Twain's classics can pull big money, but this one's condition is sketchy. Still, he calls in his literary secret weapon, Rebecca, the resident book whisperer, because if it's valuable, she'll know.
I have a friend. She'll figure out the condition, and she should be able to give us a price.
Okay.
While waiting for Rebecca, we cut to the shop where Lily's checking her grades. Chumlee's trying to bond through academic sabotage. When I was in school, I only got C's so no one would expect A's, he says proudly. Lily just blinks. The old man calls Rick a nerd, and Chumlee imagines him getting bullied at lunch. The whole shop's laughing. Rick's lecture reputation is tanking before class even starts.
The guy brought in what he says is a first edition Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
Rebecca finally arrives, and right away, Rick can't resist stating the obvious. You're pregnant. She shoots back, thank you, Rick. I'm so glad you're here to state the obvious, savage. She opens the book and instantly dives into full Twain mode. She explains the novel's humor, satire, and even medieval nose-blowing in armor jokes. Turns out, Twain basically invented steampunk. Rebecca's a walking encyclopedia, and Rick's loving every word.
And he started thinking, can you imagine what it would be like? How do you blow your nose if you're in full armor?
She explains the first edition chaos. Early pages, later pages, mixed states. Apparently, printers used multiple presses and randomly bound pages together. Some early, some late. Rick looks like his brain's buffering. She flips to page 72. This page is clean, so it's from the early run. Translation: mixed state, still first edition, just not perfect. It's like finding a rare coin with one dent. Still gold, just imperfect.
All right, and that does matter for a collector. You want the earliest state possible.
Rebecca values it between $1,200 and $1,300 retail. Rick beams, see, told you she knows everything. She adds that pristine versions sell for several thousand more. The seller nods, trying to hide disappointment. Rick makes his move, offers $700. The seller asks for $800. Rick's reply, you just said you trust me. This is a fair price. Brutal honesty wins again. They shake hands, deal closed, literary treasure secured.
Here at a local college, I got invited here to do a lecture on how to run a small business.
Next scene, Rick at the college giving his big lecture on small business. He's dressed to impress, and by that, we mean Rick in a turtleneck. His speech, surprisingly good. He talks about starting with no money, working 36-hour shifts, and reading every night to self-educate. His advice, when people tell you you can't do it, tell them to F off. Yep, Rick Harrison's version of inspiration involves swearing. Motivational gold.
Anyone got any questions? What's up?
So, we always hear about successes, but I've also heard that you can learn more from your...
He fields questions. One student asks about failure. Rick nods seriously. Most businesses fail. Don't get discouraged. He even name drops Henry Ford's bankruptcy. The crowd's locked in. You've got to educate yourself, take risks, and keep moving. It's honestly one of Rick's best TV speeches. Funny, raw, and surprisingly insightful. Back at the shop, Corey's probably rolling his eyes. Somewhere, Chumlee's asking, what's a Henry Ford?
This is an antique bone drill set. Dates about 1890s.
Back in the shop, Chumlee's holding something terrifying, an antique bone drill set. The seller, a psychiatrist, claims it's for letting evil spirits out of the brain. Probably for good reason. The drill looks like medieval torture gear. Chumlee stares at it in horror. You don't display this in your office, right? The doctor chuckles. Not this one, thank God. Pawn Stars just turned into Saw.
Scher was a German-American company and the largest producers of surgical instruments in Europe in the early 1900s. These pieces are a cool look into the past.
The doctor explains it's from Nye Shear, a major 19th century surgical company. It even comes with interchangeable bits for skull drilling. Chumlee's visibly queasy but fascinated. The seller wants $1,750. Chumlee offers $1,200, then $1,250 final. The doctor takes it. Honestly, fair deal for a 130-year-old brain drill. Chumlee signs off, glad we don't still use these. Yeah, me too. Can you imagine a checkup that starts with that?
1953 original Peter Pan, Tinkerbell presentation piece.
New customer brings in something magical, a 1953 original Peter Pan Animation Cel featuring Tinkerbell. He claims Walt Disney himself gifted it to his dentist after a weekend tooth emergency. Chumlee's intrigued but skeptical. You sure this isn't from Neverland Pawn? The seller says it's a one-of-a-kind presentation piece and asks for $20,000. Chumlee's jaw drops. Maybe Tinkerbell can sprinkle some fairy dust on that number.
Battle Captain Hook, hang out with the Lost Boys.
That's right.
The seller shows paperwork, a Disney COA, and a letter from the dentist's son confirming the story. But the proof reads like fan fiction. Chumlee humors him, then drops the hammer. You're at 20 grand, I'm at 500. The seller looks like he's seen a ghost. He insists he's been offered $10,000 already. Chumlee fires back, then go take it. Cold, brutal, hilarious. The man storms out muttering, low ball.
You gonna tell us how to go?
How many people called you Professor Dick?
No one called me Professor Dick.
The episode wraps with the guys teasing Rick about his lecture. How many people called you Professor Dick? Chumlee snickers. Rick says everyone was respectful. Sure, Corey laughs. You wear that tiny turtleneck that makes your head look like a zit? Rick admits he did. My wife liked it. Corey deadpans. She's the only one who did. Absolute family chaos. The perfect Pawn Stars ending.
Yes, I wore the turtleneck. My wife told me I looked great when I left the house.
Rick insists he'll teach again. They liked me, he says proudly. Chumlee nods. Cool, but burn that turtleneck. Rick smirks. You're just jealous of my style. Fade out on laughter. The man taught business, bought a brain drill, and got roasted by his own employees. All in 20 minutes. Pawn you indeed. Never has higher education looked this unhinged. Rick kicks things off in full panic mode. He bought a classic 1957 Chevy for the old man's 70th birthday, and now he's sweating bullets because it's nowhere near finished. He's got a full-blown party planned, but the mechanics are still fiddling with bolts like it's a science project. Rick's confidence? Hanging by a thread. We'll make that party, they say, but Rick's face says he's already planning backup biscuits and gravy.
Scooby-Doo, the Flintstone, and on this, hey, hey, hey.
Then walks in a guy with something straight out of James Bond, a freaking pistol ring. Yes, a legit 1800 six-shot revolver that fits on your finger. Rick is floored. The old man can't stop chuckling at how it'd piss someone off at a poker table. The seller wants $9,000 and Rick's tempted, but you can already feel the wheels turning. Is this rare piece real or just Hollywood fantasy?
Seen one of these before.
Rick dives deep into the mechanics. Penfire bullets, sterling silver, expert machining. This ain't some backyard gimmick. It's art, and dangerous art at that. Rick's practically drooling, but you know how he rolls. He calls in an expert before dropping serious dough. The suspense? Palpable.
You're sitting in a card game with this on, you would piss somebody off.
Enter Tony, the gun guy, and he confirms it. Mid-1800s, French-made, super rare, and super cool. Rick lights up like a kid in a candy store. Tony estimates it between $4,000 and $6,000, but mentions a recent auction where one hit $11,500. Now Rick's interest is at DEFCON 1. The drama is thick enough to slice with a bayonet.
These things are crazy rare, so I invited my buddy Tony down to take a look.
Negotiations get spicy. Rick lowballs at $3,000. The seller scoffs. The tension rises faster than a Texas poker pot. They go back and forth until Rick drops a serious offer, $7,000 cash. The seller still says no. His bottom line is $8,500, and Rick surprisingly walks. That pistol ring, back out the door. It hurts to watch.
$9 grand. They're pretty rare. It's a nice piece.
I agree, it's a nice piece.
Next, a man strolls in with what looks like a brass alien artifact, but it's actually a ship's binnacle, basically a fancy compass holder from the early 1900s. Rick geeks out over the craftsmanship. Oil lamps inside, Viking logo outside. It's nautical nostalgia at its finest.
What can I help you with?
Good afternoon. An item here I'd like to sell. It's a binnacle.
The guy wants $500, but Rick starts the haggle at $300. The seller holds strong, talks about sailors loving this stuff and moving fast. Eventually, he pushes hard at $425. Rick caves, deal struck. Seller walks off smiling, and Rick scores a profit-ready piece of maritime history.
The binnacle is basically the case that protects the compass. Protecting your compass at sea was a big deal.
The animation nostalgia hits hard when a retired cartoon cel painter brings in a stack of original Scooby-Doo, Flintstones, and Fat Albert cels. Corey's inner child nearly explodes. This guy painted these for a living, and they still have the untouched original paint instructions. Goldmine alert!
Animation Cels?
Yeah.
Like from the cartoon?
From cartoon.
Seller wants $5,000, but Corey knows the resale hustle. He counters at $1,500. The guy's heart breaks, calls it his blood, sweat, and tears, and still accepts it. Corey snags 50 animation cels for $30 a pop. That's what we call vintage highway robbery, Pawn Stars style.
That's amazing. Animation cels have become really popular with collectors.
Meanwhile, a customer casually drops a Beatles concert ticket from Shea Stadium, 1966, unused. Rick perks up until he realizes it's from a mass-produced frame sold on a TV shopping channel in the 80s. Suddenly, the rarity factor tanks. The seller's dream of taking his wife to Paris? Not looking good.
I have a unused Beatles ticket from Shea Stadium, 1966.
Did you ever listen to the Beatles?
Rick offers $175. The seller groans, begs for $700. Not even close. Finally squeezes $180 out of Rick, but that Paris trip might now involve a hotel named Budget Inn. Classic pawn shop heartbreak.
They broke up in 1970. They are still the #1 selling band in history. This was one of the last times the Beatles performed.
Back to Rick's big surprise, the 1957 Chevy reveal. He tricks the old man into a fake errand, then boom, unveils the fully restored cherry red dream car. The old man, stunned, chokes up, says it's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. It's wholesome, it's heartwarming, and it hits hard. The team walks him through the rebuild. Rust removal, frame repair, a roaring LS1 engine, pristine dash, fresh upholstery. The old man is floored. I don't like it, he says. I love it. That car is his teenage dream reborn. This is the kind of scene that makes you tear up, then immediately crave a cheeseburger.
You have no idea what a challenge this thing was to make a car look like this.
Rick jokes the car will never break 45 miles per hour, but we all know it's the sentiment that matters. As the old man cranks the engine and smiles ear to ear, you realize Rick really nailed it. Cake forgotten, memories made. Even the grumpiest grandpa in Vegas cracked a grin. Now that's what we call priceless.
You guys are sure that's enough to get him up 45 on the freeway, right?
The insanity kicks off with a guy dragging in a beat-up one-man submarine. He wants $25,000. Rick nearly chokes. Turns out the dude got it for free off someone's yard. No manual, no dome, no clue. Rick is somehow still intrigued and offers $2,000. After a little back and forth, they shake on $3,000. Rick tells everyone to keep it a secret. We all know that's not happening.
So what do we have here?
A one-man submarine.
What is this? I thought we were coming to look at a sandwich.
Yeah, it's not a submarine sandwich.
Next, a seller brings in a rare 1778 Revolutionary War Officers Commission. Bought it for $10 and wants a lot more. Corey spots the era-specific long S that looks like an F. Points for nerdiness. Rick calls in an expert while the guy daydreams about a big payday.
From the Revolutionary War, dated 1778.
It was during the month of December, right?
Let me see that.
Back off, dude.
Then Corey's expert arrives to inspect the Revolutionary War document. Turns out, it's signed by the first president of New Hampshire. Rick nerds out. The expert confirms it's rare and values it at $1,000. The seller shoots for $500. Corey offers $250. They lock in at $350, which is a huge win for someone who paid $10.
The writing has not faded. It's almost as bold as the day it was originally written. This is during 1778. The Revolutionary War was in high gear at that time.
Meanwhile, Corey digs into Rick's submarine purchase and unleashes the wrath of the old man. Rick defends his submarine logic like it's Wall Street strategy. Corey's like, it cost $10,000 just to test those. Old man practically growls. Chum's staying quiet and probably hiding a life vest.
Chumlee. Damn it, Chumlee.
What?
I saw Rick give a lady a lot of money a while ago. What was it for?
But we're not done with the submarine. Rick finally gets a submarine expert in the desert. Turns out this clunky relic was built in Canada in the 90s for a film company. It originally cost $150,000 and can go down 330 feet. Bad news, it's missing tons of parts and would cost $100,000 to restore. Ouch.
What do you think?
Well, I think that,
Scrap on. It's not iron, but close enough.
Old man immediately yells, "Scrap it!" But wait, there's a twist. The expert values it at $10,000 even in its beat-up condition, thanks to its usable parts. Rick gloats like a smug sea captain. "I want an apology," he demands. He gets nothing but insults. Classic.
Someone will buy this off me. It's got to be worth something. Is it worth anything?
the value of the sub as it sits is $10,000.
Rick and Corey then visit a guy selling a miniature Model T parade car powered by a lawnmower engine. Rick crams himself inside like a sardine and takes it for a spin. His knees may never forgive him. Seller wants $1,000, but Rick lowballs to $500. They flirt with $600, but no deal. The seller's sentimental and, honestly, respect.
What in the world do we have here?
It's a 50-year-old Model T parade car.
I don't see how it's a Model T when it's got a Chevy symbol on the front of it.
Back at the shop, a customer brings in a nasty-looking spittoon from the Goldfield Hotel. It's historic, but also a literal bucket of spit. Rick jokes about the smell, holds it like it's radioactive, and offers $50. Seller takes the deal, happy to turn germs into green.
What can I help you with?
I found this morning. I was cleaning.
It's a spittoon. Back in the day, every guy chewed tobacco.
And now for the collectible everyone weirdly wanted, a life-sized R2-D2 Pepsi cooler. The seller's asking $600 and the old man is smitten like a schoolboy. He offers $300, gets countered at $550 and ends at $500. But the seller turns it down. The old man's crushed. Cuter than hell, he mutters. Someone get this man a lightsaber.